Hey everyone, another day, another walk, another talk about Tottenham. I have to say, I could probably do with some ideas about what you want me to talk about, to be fair, because it's hard enough coming up with stuff, generally speaking, but when you're deciding to try to up your game and do a video when you're walking every day, just to take your mind off things, could do with some inspiration. So if there's anything that you really want to hear my opinion on, I'm happy to talk about it. Oh, nearly fell over then. I'm happy to talk about it, happy to chat it through. I'm halfway around my walk now. I'm only about 10 minutes from home. So I reckon I'm going to do about 4 miles today, which is good progress. My leg is playing me out something terrible, putting too much weight on it. It's not used to a lardy arse walking all this distance. Anyway, I digress. Less about me, more about the football, yeah? So what I thought I'd talk about today is a view about key moments of the season. Nice Lambo just gone past. And so just kind of thinking about it as I was walking, and I thought, you know what? There was a few key moments in the season last season. It'd be good to kind of just think about them for a minute. So, in no particular order, mix them up, shuffle them out. First one, I think, key moment of the season, appointing Nuno Espirito Santo as the Tottenham manager. Absolute key moment for the future of the club. Number one, because it was never going to work. I think we all knew it was never going to work, and it was never really intended. Not in my opinion. I think they probably wanted Antonio Conte from the start, but he made it clear he wasn't ready, he wasn't available. And I think that's when the panic set in. And I think it was a case of, like, well, where do we go from here? Because we don't really want someone for the long term. We want to give it to Conte, and he may well be available next season, as in the summer coming up now. And I think that's probably the case. They were probably thinking that he would come later on, so what they wanted was a stopgap. And then when you're talking about people like Potter, or I don't know who else was in there, that Fonseca fella and all those names, you kind of think to yourself, well, they're probably going to want a bit more, they're probably going to want to put a lot of effort in and spend a lot of money and da-da-da. And we don't want to do that because we want to hang on to it until we've got our man. And so there you go. Nuno Espirito Santo is the man that comes in as a stopgap, hopefully expecting that he would be able to replicate Pochettino a little bit in terms of kind of steady the ship, get a bit of discipline back in, hold the fort, that kind of stuff. But clearly, if you're a top class player, the last thing you're going to want is a coach of that level. You know, if you're Harry Kane, for instance, and Man City are coming into you and saying, we're going to give you trophies, and you can work with Pep Guardiola, who is currently considered one of the best coaches in the world, or you can stay at Tottenham with minimal investment, and we've got this guy called Nuno who's done all right with a Wolves team. What's your answer going to be? You're going to be like, not sure that's what I want, you know. But obviously, without the clause and all the rest of it, he's stuck with it, isn't he? He's got no other option but to kind of go with it. But for me, it's a key moment, right? Because for me, it's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of them realising, as in Levy and Lewis, that they can't carry on down the road that they were going. It's just not going to happen. So that's my number one moment of the season. The second one for me, which I thought was a real turning point, was the 4-3 win against Leicester. I don't think you can look at last season and not mention that game in particular, because that really signalled a change in attitude, a change in expectation. Now, in other seasons where we'd have been struggling, we'd have been in a position where we'd have gone, you know what, fucking hell, we'll be lucky to get anything from this. To bring on Steven Bergwijn, who's not really had a lot of opportunity, and for him to come into the team and to grab that equaliser the way he did was amazing. Like, we're all fucking going mad. But the thing with that is, not only did he score the equaliser, he went straight into the goal to grab the ball to try to get the game going again. Which is crazy, right? You're looking at it, you're thinking, we were down and out in that game. You know, there's no time left. How the hell do you think you're going to go on and win get another goal? But that's exactly what we did. And that, in my mind, is a turning point, because most other teams would have been happy to have dragged themselves to a point. You know, down and out, you know, it's never going to happen. So for Bergwijn to then come along and then get that second, beautiful, beautiful second, to take the match to 4-3, absolute screamer of a turning point in our season. I think, amazing. What a difference that makes. And I, for one, will be quite sad to see Bergwijn go, because I think he's had a bit of the shit end of the stick, because, you know, there has been times where he's shown some quality. He's only a young guy, got plenty to offer, you know, and out of all of them, I think he'd be one I'd kind of want to keep hold of. So disappointed if he does go, because I think Conte kind of sees him as a backup striker type that he can bring in. So, you know, that's a bit of a disappointment from that. But anyway, digressing, that for me is a key moment in the season, getting that and showing that different mentality. Following on from that, as I say, these are not in any particular order. The draw against Liverpool, again, before the game, most pundits, most YouTubers, most podcasters and that had us down as not going to get anything out of this game. We've thrown it away. Top four's gone. We might have got a good result against them down the road, but Liverpool is our toughest game. Arsenal had gone on and they'd won the toughest games that they were going to face, but we weren't going to get anything out of this one. Terrible record up there, so, you know, but we bossed that game. We played really, really well. Liverpool really didn't offer that much, to be fair. You know, great side, I'm not going to dwell on all of that, for everything that they've achieved this season. But we kept them at bay. And great ball from Harry, intercepting Young, back of the net, Heung-min Son. I mean, you know, it couldn't get much better than that, could it? You know, and if it wasn't just for damn ass shit luck that always seems to happen against Liverpool, they get a deflected goal that kind of robs us and gives us 1 point, but still a turning point, because the pressure was on then. The pressure was on. We needed a result. We needed not to lose. If we'd have lost that game, it's over. But anything other than that, we're still in the race. And to be able then to take it to the end of the season was a massive, massive achievement. You know, when you consider, you know, how poorly we'd been during a lot of times in the season. Another turning point from it, or another key moment in the season, got to be the Man City result. Again, much like the Leicester result, and to a certain extent the Liverpool one, we wasn't expecting anything up there, was we? wasn't really expecting to get anything. Man City were on the march. They were smashing clubs left, right and centre. But yeah, you know, right to the death, right up to the last of the game. And for Kulusevski to put that ball in, and Harry Kane rising majestically over the top, bosh, and we win the game. Absolute key. Who else has beaten them up there? You know, who else has beaten Man City this season? Well, we did. You know, what a result that is. So key turning points, taking points off of City, points off of Liverpool, coming back from the dead against Leicester. All real key moments. The win against Arsenal, don't necessarily see that as a key moment. It was definitely what we needed. Great to have it, but it wasn't the game changer or the unexpected that came along. You know, I genuinely thought that we could win that game and that we were gonna win that game. Whereas with the others, they kind of have their own special little moments that keep it all alive, you know. But just to finish it off, the final key moment of the season has to be the signing of Antonio Conte. Okay, 6 months or whatever it is later than we wanted, but possibly 6 months earlier than we expected. Without Antonio Conte, we wouldn't be in the top four. We wouldn't have had Champions League football. Kulusevski and Bentancur probably wouldn't have come. Harry Kane would have had a new contract that says he's leaving. You know, and we would have been in a world of pain. But what it also means is Harry Kane is likely to come. Perisic has just signed. They are, and that's like right at before we're even opening the transfer window. You know, we've got our first signing in. It's a change of mentality, and having Antonio Conte is the key to that. That's the key moment, the key thing that's happened last season for us to push on and hopefully go on to bigger and better things. Because for me, time's running out for Daniel Levy. They've had 20 plus years. They've tried projects. They've tried rebuilds. They've built the new stadium. They've had all the excuses under the sun. What it's left us with, you know, is bugger all in terms of silverware, but lots of hope. But for me, I think this is probably the most hopeful I've ever been. You know, the Pochettino years, Pochettino did fantastic. Can't knock that. But he never took us to the next level. He gave us the opportunity to believe, to feel proud of our club again, to get us to a level where we'd never expected to be, or we'd always been like knocking on the door, but never actually going through. And I think, you know, Poch was great for the club and he's had his time, but now we need to go on to, you know, right to the top. If we're ever gonna eat at that top table and be serious contenders, we really need to stop looking back and start looking forward. So that's my thoughts for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, make sure you leave me a comment telling me what you want me to talk about. If you want me to carry on talking about Tottenham whilst I'm having a wander and trying to drop this ass weight. So I'll leave it there. Have a think. Up the Spurs.